everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Football Fignuts podcast. This is Season 3, Episode 6, and if you're keeping track, it's Episode 106. I'm Craig.
I'm Britt.
And Britt, we're back for another week of preseason injury and death.
I don't care. Don't care.
You don't care? Why don't you care?
I'm busy over here.
What do you... Well, actually, what's in that? You have a glass, but it's
There's nothing next to me.
It's very dark.
There's nothing you want in this glass.
It's very dark. What's in that glass?
Oh, I'm glad you asked. Because I lied. There is something in this glass. It is something you don't want to drink because it is pumpkin beer. It is the pumpkin beer. It released today. Ladies and gentlemen, cue the music, Craig. It is Roadsmary's Baby. For those who know me well, they know there's only one beer better than this, Holiday Ale. So somehow Craig will have to find both the Christmas and the Halloween music because I just mentioned them both.
Yep.
And I'm about to have my
Christmas
first sip of the season.
All right. Now, you bought this beer, and you didn't have any there. You just bought a six-pack and left.
No, I bought the six because I made my wife a promise. We have a mini tradition. We have the first glass at the brewery because, like many beers, as much as I love Rosemary's Baby, Rosemary's is better off the tap than out of the bottle. That's just, I think, 90% of the beers I have, I feel that way about.
Generally,
so
yes.
I said to her, I will save the first draft sip for when we're together because she likes the weird, like, eyes roll into the back of the head seizure I have of joy when I drink this beer. So I'm about to have my first sip. Craig is taking the week off.
I am taking a week off just to reset my
it's good once in a while.
Reset myself, Britt's taking a sip of the beer, and of course there's barely any. I mean, it's amber. It's not dark like Guinness.
It's dark like a brown ale.
All right. How's the rum this year?
Oh my god.
Cuz they make this beer every year, and every year it changes a little bit. And some year, like last year, it was heavy on the rum.
You sure you won't take a sip of this to tell me what you think?
I'm sure. So here's the thing. Just for people that don't know.
Yeah,
other than like granola, I don't eat because I really like the flavor of pumpkin, even though I know it's a spice and it's a gourd, but whatever. So I save that for the fall. So for me, I start in months that end in ER. So like I'm going to start next month, so in September. Then I'll go to like January. December.
Historically speaking, the place where we have our fantasy draft, our 27th annual draft this year, by the way.
Yes.
The place we have our draft usually does have Roadsmary's on tap. And that will be the first weekend of September. It will technically be September 2nd.
Yes.
So you're going to have a Roadsmary's?
I will.
Okay. I took a couple of sips of it while Craig was talking. It's richer this year.
Okay.
The flavor is more mellow, but it's strong in the back end.
Is it like you just had a shot of rum?
No. I feel like I was just drinking a light beer, and then the flavor of the pumpkin spice and the rum smoothness of the aging, because they age it in rum barrels, came in late. So again, analogy time.
Yeah.
It's like there's a knock at your door, and you go, who is it? And somebody goes, Bud Light. And you go, oh, Bud Light, huh? And you open the door, and it's Michael Myers. And he stabs you and screams, rum, motherfucker, before he leaves. That's kind of what it was like for me. So very fallish, really smooth, really freaking good.
Because I know last year a lot of people, like I didn't, but a lot of people had issues with it because I
love the rum finish.
It was heavy on the rum last year.
It feels like it's heavier on the pumpkin spices this year.
All right, good.
Which is fine by me. And it's balanced in such a way that you're just getting beer up front, and then it's like, oh, by the way,
are they doing the other baby this year?
I would hope they are. It's on their list.
Okay.
And whether or not they do Stepchild, which is their sour version of this beer, I have no idea. But Other Baby is just amazing. Other Baby is aged longer and with vanilla added to it, and it's just freaking epic.
They sell those now. Those don't come in 6-packs. They sell in like a pint craft bottle thing.
Good luck getting them.
Yeah, you have to get that when they come out.
At the brewery, like fighting people with a stick. We got a bottle last year. And don't forget, I'm not bragging when I say this. Craig and I are somewhat well connected at Two Roads. We know many of the guys who work there. We know when a lot of stuff is going to release and stuff like that. I knew Roadsmary's was coming out either this week or next week. Because we talk to the guys there frequently. They're very nice to us. It's not like we're just Joe Schmo off the street there. People recognize us and say hello to us. When I stopped in today to get the 6-pack, Tim, the bartender, was like, hey, how you doing? Oh, I was like, I just need to get a 6. Oh, I'll open the store for you. Okay. He'd open the store for anybody, but the fact that he stopped and recognized me and said, hey, how you doing? I haven't seen you in a while. What's been going on? That's different. So anyway, But you know what? Let's talk some football.
Yes.
As much as I want to sit here and just drink Rosemary's Baby until I
As
fall asleep
one
on your
would.
floor, let's talk football.
Okay.
We're going to talk about deep cuts today. So thank you. We've got a couple of new reviews. One of which was like, your draft episode was really good, but it left me wanting more. I'd like to talk about some deep cuts. You got it. We're going to talk today about guys with an average draft position of over 150, and we're going to play a game called Draft, Keep, or Dump, where you can pick somebody over 150 you think is going to be good for this year, somebody who may be good as a keeper going forward, and someone you are absolutely not touching in that range. And we'll do that for each position. But let's first start with our normal stuff.
Sure.
Craig, burning hot takes.
Okay.
What do you got for me this week?
So as I mention this every year, I'm a believer in the Madden curse.
Oh, we know.
Now, did you see something that someone online pointed out about last year's cover?
Are you talking about one of the names of one of the studios that worked on last year's version?
Yeah, that's the graphics engine they use.
So-
That's what it's called.
All right, so the graphics engine has a name, and the individual, let's remind folks, on the Madden cover
Yes.
was Antonio Brown.
Correct.
What was the name of that graphics company, Craig?
The graphics engine is called Frostbite.
Frostbite, with
Right.
Antonio Brown on
On
the
the-
cover.
Right. So, I'm just saying, when you're on the cover of Madden, it's not like the next day you get hit by a bus and you
This-
can't play football.
But what's the question in here?
The question is, does it make you any more worried about Patrick Mahomes?
No, because I don't believe this mumbo jumbo that you keep spewing about the Madden curse. Guys get hurt all the freaking time. It happens.
They do.
It happens, and that's actually where I'm going with my question. Do you
All right.
believe? Does this increase your?
Yes.
Yes. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Scale of 1 to 100,
Wow.
regardless of who's on the cover.
Yep.
How certain are you that within 12 months, not even the same season,
Right.
but
But it
within
says-
12 months of them appearing in the Madden cover, they will suffer an injury? Give me a percentage. How certain are you?
It's a mix between injury and just a horrible season or issues.
Well, that's when Peyton Hillis was on the cover. That happened. Remember
That
Peyton
happened.
Hillis?
Well, remember last year all the drama that Antonio Brown had with the Steelers? But
I think the curse is more about the injury bug, but that's beside
yeah,
the point.
but so I would say I'm like 85%.
That's high. That's really high to me. 30% tops.
All right.
Tops.
All right.
So here's mine.
Okay.
Everyone's dead.
Yes.
I'm looking at the injury list that were reported today. Let's talk about a couple of skill guys. So today is, what the hell is today's date? Today is the 14th.
Yep. Of
A
August.
couple of guys who went down today that are air quotes fantasy relevant, meaning they're in positions where,
It may matter.
yeah,
Okay.
because the first two names on the list are Kenyon Drake and Devontae Parker. And right now, I'm not sure anyone on Miami or Washington matters to me in the world of fantasy football. But Kenyon Drake injured his foot. He's questionable for week 1. Devontae Parker, undisclosed injury, questionable for week 1. Maurice Harris and Philip Dorsett are both questionable for week 1 at Pittsburgh. That's not really groundbreaking. Damian Harris has a wrist issue, not groundbreaking. Adam Humphries, questionable for week 1, undisclosed injury. And Darius Geis, knee, week 1.
He just needs to stop playing.
And Paul Richardson, week 1. And Trey Quinn, wow. Again, but those are all in Washington, and Washington's virtually dead to me. Craig, of those guys I mentioned,
Wow.
does anybody move the needle for you? Does any of those concern you?
My only really concern is Drake. I was still because I meant a couple episodes ago.
Why?
Because I thought he was going to have a good year this year. Depending on that injury, he still may. So
I mean, I
It's
should
hard
go
to-
back a couple of days. The next day, this might change your answer. Debo Samuel is questionable for week 1, and the injury is listed as personal. That scares the hell out of me.
oh yeah,
And then George Kittle injured his calf. He's questionable. Kittle moves the needle for me. Samuel is somebody I've been looking at and I kind of like, so that inches the
Mohamed
needle for me.
Sanu was hurt.
When would that happen?
That happened Monday.
Oh, I'm not going that far back. I could, but
And your buddy Njoku.
what is it with tight ends and the Bengals and injuries? 2 tight ends with concussions?
Yes.
Carter and Franks both have concussions, and
Yeah.
Njoku has a knee injury.
Yep.
So, all right, so let's look as far back as that. Who worries you?
Probably
Kittle worries me.
Kittle's probably the biggest one on that list.
I'm worried about Samuel's injury because it's just unlisted. So there's a follow-up question to this before I throw it back to you.
Yeah.
Which is this. I was listening to Sirius XM radio today, and I don't remember which analyst was saying it, but he is tired of the injuries that they don't tell you what's going on. He feels like he's got thousands of dollars on the line between betting football, which is now legal, and fantasy football, and he deserves some honest information from the team. So when the team says Joe Schmo is questionable, undisclosed, or personal, he feels that's BS and that reporters should push on that.
Right.
Historically, when reporters push on that, they suddenly find their credentials aren't waiting for them at the gate on game day.
Right.
Where do you stand on this? Does the league owe us explanations for all these injuries, the teams, or is this just kind of a, hey, deal with it?
Now that betting is legal in most places, I would say it's a little more prevalent in that the NFL may want to eventually make it mandatory.
They have a reporting policy, but it's very loose.
I mean, look at what the Patriots do. They put everyone, sorry, Cinch, they list all kinds of people as questionable and probable.
That was Bill Belichick recognizing early on that you don't have to explain someone's absence from practice if they're on the injury report.
Right.
So if you want to just rest Tom Brady because he's getting older, and they do have a habit of like bringing in older guys. Don't forget all the wide receivers they've brought in over the years that have been in the later half of their career, a la Randy Moss, etc. If you put them on the injury report and just say undisclosed injury, you don't have to answer anything. They don't have to practice. You can rest them. Now they've changed that since. Now it's like you can just tell them it's a veteran rest day. People do that all the time now. But in the beginning, that was a huge part of it. So he did. He would put everybody on the injury list if he could, because it was good in his mind, good gamesmanship. I just think it's a dick move. But that's just me. I'm not a big Patriot guy. But do they need to change this?
Yeah, I think now that, especially now, even more money's involved, people are going to push the NFL to change it.
And here's the next thing: credentials need to come from the NFL, not from the teams. There's your first thing. You want hard-hitting reporting? You want coaches exploding at every press conference instead of just 2 or 3 times a year? Make the access to the stadium tied to the NFL PR, not to the teams. So the Bengals can't issue credentials, the NFL does. And if you have an NFL credential, you go in. And if a team has a problem with a guy, they can then say to the NFL, we want this guy removed, and it's up to the NFL to make that determination. Because there is so much worry on the part of reporters from what I've read and what I've heard, and they'll never admit this, but it's happened in every sport. Happened when Jim Calhoun was at UConn. It's the dude from the Hartford Courant, I don't even remember the guy's name, wrote a terrible piece about how badly managed the UConn men's basketball team was one year, and they revoked his credential.
Oh, they did?
They revoked his credential. He just showed up at Gamble Pavilion and was told, no, you can't come in. You're not on the list. He said, well, I'm the Hartford Courant. Well, here's the list.
You're not on the list.
You're not on the list. Go away. And he wrote a scathing piece about how this was censorship. If you own the rights to access,
you do whatever you want.
That's it. The team should not own the access rights. They shouldn't. It should be at the NFL level. That's all I'm saying there. What else have you got for me tonight?
I have something not football related.
Okay, that's always nice.
And it's beer related.
It's beer related, okay.
It is. And I was going to ask you this even before I knew you were going to bring that here.
Yeah.
Is there another pumpkin beer that you would take over Rosemary's Baby?
No. Easy answer, no.
Are there any other pumpkin beers that you enjoy?
Oh, yes. Several.
But that would be first.
Southern Tier's Pumpkin, not the Imperial.
Oh no,
not the barrel-aged Imperial. I think actually the regular Southern Tier Pumpkin isn't Imperial. Okay, so the regular Imperial Pumpkin, I like that a great deal. Shipyard Pumpkinhead.
Shipyard is good.
Solid.
It is good. It's different though. It's sweeter.
We went out for your birthday. Was it 2 years ago? Where we went out for a football Sunday, and we ended up spending all day at the Hub and Spoke restaurant, but we stopped first.
Oh, yes.
At Fire Engine.
Yes, we went there first, and then went to Hub and Spoke.
And I ordered a Pumpkinhead because it was on tap. And they were like, well, do you want the fancy glass? And I thought, oh, okay, fancy serving glass. Yeah, I'll take the fancy glass. was actually a glass encrusted in cinnamon and sugar.
Yep.
That made the beer. I mean, the problem is
It's
there's
sweet.
yes, it's very sweet. And people look around and like, oh, look, he has like a margarita glass. He must be drinking something fancy. Look at the fancy man. And you're just like,
It's beer.
you feel like somebody's going to come up and tap you on your shoulder and go, excuse me, sir, you need to surrender your man card.
Actually, in the first time I ever had pumpkin beer, we were in Long Island visiting one of Laura's friends, and we went out to dinner.
Uh-huh.
And her friend got it, and I'm like, "What is that?" Because it had the encrusted, like the cinnamon sugar on it.
Yeah.
And that's the first time I had it, and then ever since then I've been hooked on.
I love pumpkin beer. It's a sign the fall is coming. I like the cooler weather. The spring and the fall are my favorite seasons. I'm a big Halloween fan. I love Halloween season. So for me, you know who makes a really good pumpkin? I don't remember what it's called. Port Jefferson Brewing in New York makes a really solid pumpkin beer that I like a great deal. And of course, if there's anybody's going to compare with Roadsmary's, Lock City in Stamford, Connecticut makes Lock-O-Lantern. It's called Lock-O-Lantern. This stuff will put you on your ass.
Really?
And it is amazing. It's like 8 or 9%, and it is so smooth. It is epically amazing. Now, there's been some I don't like.
Right. I mean, that,
I won't name names here. There's been one or two here or there, but
you're
yes.
just disappointed. So do you like more of the pumpkin flavor, or do you like...
Well, that's the funny thing. I don't like pumpkin-flavored things.
So what do
I
you...
don't like pumpkin pie and stuff like that, but
Right.
something about the pumpkin beer just appeals to me.
All right.
I hate pumpkin pie. I won't eat a pumpkin muffin, but I love pumpkin beer.
So you don't like pumpkin spice.
But I do, because most
But
of
you
pumpkin
do.
beers are pumpkin spice beers.
Right. So
They're-
I wonder what it is.
I have
Weird.
no clue. I have no clue.
Strange.
I know what I like.
Right. That's all that
And
matters.
this will carry me into holiday ale, and that's all that matters. The best 5 or 6 months of the year, or 4 months of the year maybe, of Brit's beer drinking existence has started today. From now until probably the second week of January, my favorite beers of the year all come out.
So what's your third, if those are your top two?
What, the third favorite beer of all time? Oh,
That you would drink right now. Are you just going to drink
So
pumpkin
you're telling
beer?
me right now, I have every beer I've ever tasted available in front of me. What am I reaching for first, second, and third?
Right. So I'm saying there's Holiday Ale, there's
That's
Rosemary's
one.
Baby.
That's 2.
What's the third beer you would drink after those two?
Rosemary's Other Baby.
All right.
Outside of the Rosemary's Holiday Ale realm, there's a couple by Kent Falls. Probably either Fuzzy Baby Ducks by Nebco or Awkward Hug or Double Awkward Hug by Kent Falls. They put out some really solid stuff, and it's all local stuff I like. So
Oh, that's good. But so for the next couple months, Britt is only going to be drinking pumpkin beer and Holiday Ale.
pretty exclusive.
Because last year, Britt went around to look for cases of Holiday Ale.
I only bought 2 last year, cases of Holiday Ale. But yes, we've wasted a lot of time.
We did.
Let's get to business. So I sent to Craig today a list from our friends at Fantasy Football Calculator, and said, here are the quarterbacks, ADPs, running backs, etc. in ADP rankings. Let's talk about the bottom guys. And I want to know who you would draft for 1 year, who has keeper potential based on your outlook for 2019, and who you're just dumping onto the waiver wire.
All right.
So let's jump right into the quarterback. How I siphoned this is, if you had an overall ADP of 150 or higher. So think about that in a 12-teamer that's at least is around 12, 13, 14, somewhere around there. I'm not doing
Right.
the math in my head. Yeah, 12 rounds would be 144 picks. So you're talking 13th round or later. In a 10-teamer, you're talking late rounds. You're talking 15th, 16th round. So I only went based off what was available on their site. There's names that simply aren't on this list.
Right.
The quarterbacks, only 5 names came up. And they were in order: Mitchell Trubisky,
Yep.
Sam Darnold. Darnold, right?
Darnold.
Darnold. All right, I said it right. Yay.
You did.
Josh Allen,
Yep.
Derek Carr, and Matt Stafford.
Okay.
So, Craig, of those 5 guys, keep, draft, and dump.
All right.
One of each.
So keep would be, I have them on my team this year. Maybe.
And you think that in a
There's-
lot of places you pay picks for later. So this is a guy who might be worth a 14th or 15th rounder next year
All right.
as a keeper.
As a keeper.
Yeah, this is a guy you're going to draft this year, and there's a possibility, if things work out the way you think they will, he could be a keeper in 2020. He's going to move up the list.
Up the list. For me, that would be Darnold.
Okay, why?
Everything I'm hearing out of the Jets camp is everything. People are really excited. People are playing well together. For the first time in a long time, the Jets have a feature back. Not that their other running backs weren't good players, but now they have Bell. Like, this is the first time they had a running back like that since, LT?
Probably.
So there's a lot of potential there. That takes a lot of pressure off of him as well.
What about the Crow, man? You just got to feed the Crow.
I mean, he was good. He had concussion
What
issues,
about
though.
Elijah McGuire?
What happened to him?
He's still there, I think. That's how little he's impacted. All right, so you're looking at Darnold as your, which one was that? Was your keeper or your drafter?
So keep is this year.
Keep means you're going to add them to your team in 2019.
Yep.
But with the expectation you think they're going to excel, and in 2020 they're a potential keeper candidate.
And then draft.
Draft is a guy you're grabbing this year, but you're not thinking beyond this year.
All right. Good.
So which one was Darnold again?
Darnold was keep.
Okay, so who's your draft guy?
Draft just for a backup. I still like Matthew Stafford
Why?
because he throws for like 5,000 yards a year.
But who's he throwing to?
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't?
Nah, not for him. He's like underneath like Drew Brees, and he just throws the ball constantly.
Okay.
So that for me that's why. I mean, I would use him as a backup. So
Who's your dumper?
that would sadly be Derek Carr.
No, the Gruden resurrection.
Gruden goes through quarterbacks very quickly.
He does.
I think this is going to be Derek Carr's last season as a Raider.
I think this might be Derek Carr's last season in the league. Yeah, I think I agree with that. All right, so mine.
So what about you?
My keeper is Sam Darnold. I think Darnold has an opportunity to really elevate this year. So I think Darnold could be a QB1 under the right circumstances. At the very least, he's a QB2, which means he's going to be in the top 20 to 24 QBs. Right now, he's at 22 among ADP on the QBs. He's definitely going to move up 5 or 6 slots. My draft guy is Mitch Trubisky. Here's my thing with Mitchell Trubisky. Oh, by the way, Sam Darnold, Tony Romo came out today and said he's the breakout candidate of 2019.
Okay.
And Tony Romo is either psychic or actually knows something about football, because if you watched any of the games he called last year, he was pretty accurate. So I'm going to put a little bit of weight on what he says. And everyone and the Jets have become a love fest. Darnold has come out and said, "I love my coach. I love my receivers." Everyone's talking about how much he gets along with folks. It seems like a good environment right now. So I think the Jets are on the uptick right now. Draft wise, Mitch Trubisky. I think this is a boom or bust year for the Bears. I think there is a lot.
You don't think their defense is going to carry them again?
No, I don't. I don't think their defense is going to carry them this year. So I think, and that's not because their defense isn't good. I think that the word is out about the Bear defense. The Bear defense is good again, and people are going to prepare extra hard for the Bears. I think he's going to have to put up or shut up. And that means he's going to have to either go out there and show QB1 potential, or he's going to have to pretty much go away and become the next Blake Bortles / Ryan Tannehill. And here's the thing. He's got weapons. He's got maybe too many running backs behind him. He's got Allen Robinson. They've got options. They've got Trey Burton, who if he stays healthy, and yes, he's on the injury report, but if he stays healthy, there is no reason that if Mitch Trubisky has QB1 potential, that he should not have an amazing year. And that's why he's not my keeper, is because he needs to show me something. Darnold showed me something last year in terms of like his decision making, and was his first year, all that fun stuff. I haven't seen that at Trubisky yet. My dump is Josh Allen.
Really?
There is nothing about the Buffalo Bills that make me feel confident about Josh Allen. If Trubisky has targets, Allen does not. While Trubisky has guys like Cohen and Montgomery behind him, there's a social security line forming behind Josh Allen. Frank Gore, LaShawn McCoy, it's just old in Buffalo. I don't have a whole lot of, and I love Frank Gore, but I don't think he's gonna be good. The positive news out of Buffalo camp this week was that in a joint practice against Carolina, Josh Allen was working the short pass effectively.
Oh, good.
Craig, you can work the short pass effectively.
I can't because I'm left-handed.
Keep your biases to yourself. We are a bias-free podcast. That's really not true. But anyway, there's that. So that's so I'm going to recap mine. My guy to look at as a potential keeper is Sam Darnold. The guy to use this year and see how he does is Mitch Trubisky. And the guy you're going to dump is Josh Allen. Craig, recap your 3.
So my keeper was Darnold. My draft was Stafford, and my drop was Carr.
Okay. So now to the running backs. In the running backs list, there were also 5 names. Tony Pollard from Dallas, Nyheim Hines from Indy, C.J. Anderson from Detroit, Chris Thompson out in Washington, and Malcolm Brown out in L.A. with the Rams. Okay. Can't just say L.A. anymore. You've got to say the Rams.
Yep.
So I'll lead off this one. For me, my keeper is Nyheim Hines.
Okay.
Listen.
Period.
And the end. Thank you for listening. I'm trying to read this word I wrote, and it looks like mock fatters. Oh, no. Okay, Mac Falters. That's what it is. So I looked at his numbers from last year. Nyheim Hines' numbers were not terrible. He caught a lot of passes. And the games that he didn't catch like double-digit passing yards or double-digit catches were like where you only had 1 catch for -2. He actually had as many receiving touchdowns as rushing touchdowns. And don't forget, Marlon Mack missed some time last year. I think if anything happens to Marlon Mack, Nyheim Hines is going to be the man in Indy. And if Luck is healthy, which is that's a big if right now. And again, if we had not seen this story already with Andrew Luck will be fine for the beginning of the season, Andrew Luck will be fine for the beginning of the season, Andrew Luck will be fine for the beginning of next season kind of conversation, because we've been down this road. He'll be here week 1. He'll be here week 1. He'll be here week 1 next year. We've done this.
Right.
So if he's healthy and anything happens to Mac, Nyheim Hines has huge potential. And right now, he's going off as RB 59 at pick 154. That is super late flyer territory. And if you've got Mac, it just makes sense to link him up. So I'm going to keep him.
Okay.
Drafting is C.J. Anderson. Here's the bottom line. Everywhere C.J. Anderson goes, he finds a way to put a voodoo curse on the guy ahead of him and ends up getting carries. Todd Gurley didn't have arthritis until C.J. Anderson got there. That's not true. He didn't have it diagnosed until he got there. But still, I'm not saying C.J. Anderson kills chickens in the moonlight to promote his career. I'm saying
like the Madden curse.
I don't know that he doesn't kill chickens in the moonlight. C.J. Anderson, where he goes, he just weird things follow. He's become like this vulture. So I'm gonna pick him up, and if he doesn't do well, or and Detroit carries the load, that's fantastic. I can cut him. And then my dump is Chris Thompson. One sentence: the Washington Redskins are not only a tire fire, they are easily the worst managed, staffed, and coached team in the NFL. End of story. So how could I possibly take Chris Thompson, who is backing up Adrian Peterson and Darius Geis, under any circumstances? There is no scenario in which I would touch Chris Thompson. Oh, well, AP's old and he gets injured and Geis isn't able to start the year. Fantastic. All that tells me is they have no one at running back. Chris Thompson is not the answer. I am dumping Chris Thompson. Craig, give me your list.
So my list is actually pretty close.
Who's your keeper?
My keeper is going to be Mr. Tony Pollard.
So you're buying into the Pollard's going to replace Zeke theory.
I am, because we don't know. Like, I have Zeke on teams. I hope he shows up.
And Pollard's going around 153 in average ADP.
If you're keeping Zeke, you definitely should draft him. Let's just get that out of the way.
Yeah.
Here's the thing though: if he does play, and the way it's going right now, he probably is going to play. This is going to be like a showcase for him to get signed somewhere else. So the longer Zeke misses, the more he has potential to perform.
Which is what we thought with Alfred Morris going there, and when Zeke wasn't well, but it didn't turn out that way. So you're not worried about... It's because Alfred Morris is still there, isn't he?
I'd have to look that up.
I'm pretty sure he is. You're not worried about Alfred Morris.
I'm not, because now that they have Cooper, I think their offense is a little more in sync.
But Cooper's hurt.
True.
Cooper's got the foot issue that no one's talking about.
True.
In detail, which scares me.
Right. So my next draft... actually be the same person would be CJ.
So we're buying into the CJ Anderson just finds a way.
He just finds a way to get yards, even if he's the backup. And he's backing up Kerryon Johnson. So who knows what's going to happen in Detroit.
10-second side, how confident are you in Kerryon Johnson? 0 to 100%. That he's going to be an RB1. How? Because that's what people are talking about.
65.
People are talking about. So wait a minute. Hold on a second. Let me pull that up really quick. Quick side note, because I want to go back to this. Because we haven't talked a lot about Kerryon, and Sean is a big Kerryon guy.
He is.
Kerryon Johnson is going at RB12 right now between Joe Mixon and Damian Wilson around pick 22.9. So he is a 3rd round pick and potentially a late RB1, early RB2. Percentage confidence that he will end up in the top, let's say 20 RBs.
It's 60.
I'm at like 45.
Ish.
I just don't have faith in
But
that.
now that
Detroit
CJ
team.
Anderson's there, maybe 50.
There you go. So they cut CJ Anderson and the number soars. But
Yeah.
all right, so you're drafting CJ Anderson. Who are you dumping?
Why did I? Chris Thompson. Because
All right, so I give you my reasons. Why aren't you faithing Chris
he's
Thompson?
been playing since 2013.
He feels like he's been playing forever.
Yes. Let me read you his yardage. In that
Oh
time.
God. Sorry, wait. So 2013 was his first year. So you've got the whole year? You got everything?
Yeah. I got
13, 14, 15, 16,
18.
17. So he's played 6 full seasons.
Yes.
Give me the yardage starting in 2013, go up the line.
0.
Okay. We can't count that.
2014, 12.
Okay.
2015, 216.
All right, so that really should be the first one we count, but go
Okay. 2016, 356.
on. Well, it's getting better.
2017, 294.
Oh, you regressed a little.
Last year, 178.
See, there's just... and it doesn't say how many games he appeared in, does it? I'm not going to go crazy for that, but...
well, okay. Going backwards from 2018, 10, 10.
Okay, so wait a minute. So 10 games. So give me the games in the yardage. So in 2018, 10 games for
178 yards. 2017, 10 games, 294 yards.
Oh my God.
2 touchdowns. 2016, 16 games, 356 yards, 3 touchdowns.
16 games, 350 yards. Even as the changeup back, that's terrible.
And then 2015, 13 games, 216 yards.
Yeah,
He's had 5 touchdowns, rushing touchdowns. So
We can't. All right, so recap. I am, oh God, I went to the next page. I am absolutely looking at Naheem Hines as a potential breakout if Mac falters. I am drafting CJ Anderson because everywhere he goes, he somehow gets carries. And I won't touch Chris Thompson unless he is the literal last man available on every roster. Craig.
So recap, I am keeping Pollard. I am drafting CJ Anderson and dropping Brown.
I like this kind of exercise. It gives us some, and this is the thing. When we put it out to the podcasters, Sean was like, "So you're looking for sleepers?" Not really.
Not really.
We're talking about guys who are just going late and how valuable they are. And that was the comment we got back was, I really would have liked some late picks. Okay, here you go. Now, unfortunately, the commenter who told us that also said my draft was the next day.
Hey,
So
you can do another draft.
I'm sorry, dude. We're a day late for your purposes, but thank you for your comment. All right, let's move on to wide receivers because we got a much longer list.
We do.
So I'm going to run down the list and throw it to Craig. Starting with wide receiver number 59, who's going at an average ADP of 153.1 is, oh God, I can't, and he's on my team, McCole Hardman. I think it's pronounced McCole. Hardman, whatever it is.
Okay.
Michael Gallup, Traquan Smith,
Yep.
Deebo Samuel, who did hit the injury report
He
with
did.
personal. I don't know what a personal injury is. Did somebody insult him? Did
Maybe.
somebody say, Deebo, you're not good? And he got very upset and now he's personally injured? I don't know. Next is Adam Humphries, also on the injury list now. Randall Cobb, Marquise Brown, Devontae Parker, also on the injury list. And Marquise Goodwin, always on the injury list. I love Marquise Goodwin. The potential for him, particularly in best ball, is so great. He can't stay on the field. He's like the deep threat John Brown. Like John Brown's supposed to be like this route runner. If you put the two of them on the same team and waved a magic wand so they would always be healthy, it would be probably the best receiving core in the NFL, hands down. But they're never healthy.
No, you can probably get 8 games out of them total.
8 games
Between the two of them.
Between the two of them, you get 8 games. And they're such different receivers. All right, Craig, take the lead on this one. Who are you looking at as a keeper? A guy you'll draft in 2019, but you could see keeping in 2020 if things go right.
If things go right, and now let me preface this by I made my list before looking at the injury list. But anyway, that would be Deebo.
And we don't know Deebo's a personal thing.
Right.
That could be, and again, Personal could be he's having a baby.
Yep. He
A
could
family
have
member
a
sick?
sinus infection. Like,
It could be a number of different things that tomorrow could be completely cleared up. You know what? While you do your list, I'm gonna look up
Yep.
and see if I can find information on the Debo Samuel injury.
just because, Tyreek Hill is back, but the way his history has been, we don't know what's going to happen in the middle of the year. I know Sammy Watkins is there, but, KC does have a very powerful offense, as long as Madden doesn't show up.
I will personally kill you.
Hey, don't say I didn't warn you.
No, I think you're bringing it to life.
No,
you're making this
you.
manifest destiny over here.
Let's see, what's that? Oh, who am I drafting? It would be Traquan Smith.
Really? Why? Because
Same
many
reason for it,
weapons.
Just volume. Just volume in New Orleans. They're going to throw first. He's just another option that they have, that Drew Brees has. Did you find anything in the personal list?
I did. NinersNation.com
Yep.
is reporting that was excused from practice due to personal reasons. Kyle Shanahan said he will likely give us more information if he has to miss on Thursday. So by the time you hear this podcast, there may be an update to that. So that doesn't worry me as much as anymore. If he might miss Thursday, I might not go to work on a Thursday. Who knows?
Right?
All right, sorry. And that was your draft guy. Who's your dumper?
It would be Humphreys.
Why? Really? In Tennessee? Is that more about Adam or more about Mariota?
It's more about Tennessee and Mariota. I am just over Tennessee as a team and in fantasy.
The reports are not good.
They burned me last year and the year before. I'm just over Tennessee.
You ain't got to talk to me about my team lost to them 2 years ago in the first round of the playoffs. You got to talk to me about Tennessee burning you. The reports I'm hearing about Mariota are not good. I am hearing that if he does not have a good week 2 preseason,
yep,
the word quarterback competition has snuck into the coach's mind. Do you remember who's standing behind him? Ryan Tannehill.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
The word I heard on Mariota is that he can't get the ball out to the sidelines. His arm strength is shot. His injury history has just caught up with him. He does not have the arm strength anymore. That's what I'm hearing. Now, he comes out this weekend and he goes 11 for 15 and a half of action for a touchdown and no picks. People can shut the F up.
Right.
But I don't know that's going to happen. So, all right, that's a good list.
All right.
So for me,
yeah,
my keeper, I got to get my list here, is Hardman from KC. Here's the bottom line. Anyone who plays with Andy Reid has the potential to break out. Andy Reid called him Tyreek Hill Part 2.
Really?
At the draft, he said he was a similar receiver. And yesterday at camp, he said it's like watching Tyreek as a rookie. We all know what Tyreek has done on and off the field, which is why there's a problem.
Yes.
Patrick Mahomes was asked who's put in a lot of work. He specified McCole Hardman.
Really?
So the quarterback likes him. The coach likes him. The number one could still go to jail at any moment. It's just a really good situation for him to potentially break out. And I'm sorry, at a 153.1, I will wait till round 12 or 13, and I will toss him on my roster, and I will not hesitate to cut him in week 3 if he stinks. Draft, Michael Gallup.
Really?
All right, listen, I'm going to give you some inside information here. I'm whispering. You know what it means when I whisper. Okay.
All right. Go ahead.
The word on Amari Cooper is not great. The injury doesn't look like terrible, but it looks like it could hamper him for a couple of weeks into the season. That's the word I'm hearing.
Okay.
That's what I'm reading online. I called Jerry Jones. I called the Jerry Jones phone service sponsored by Jerry Jones, and Jerry Jones personally told me, at least the woman on the phone sounded like Jerry Jones, and she identified herself as Jerry Jones, personally told me that there's a good chance that Cooper may be restricted early on. If that's the case, Michael Gallup is going to be the guy, and he has been stupendous in camp by every reporter's report. I have not personally been to Dallas Cowboys camp. I do not get a badge with Jerry Jones's picture on it next to me.
But do you want one?
No. But that's beside the point. Which leads me to my dump. So I'm fine with I'll pick up Gallup and see what he does in that first couple weeks. My dump is Randall Cobb.
I feel like he's been playing for 15 years.
Craig, how old is Randall Cobb in your mind?
32.
He's 28. I had to
Couple
look
years
that up because
off.
I thought he was 35. Randall Cobb is probably the oldest 28 of anybody on that team. I don't think he can be trusted at all. Now, keep in mind, I just said I would dump Randall Cobb before Devontae Parker. Devontae Parker, who Joe Dolan went on the air this week and said he's made an entire career out of making a good preseason. Every year we hear this about Devontae Parker, right? Oh, Devontae Parker's looked great in camp. Oh my God, Devontae Parker. Devontae Parker's talking to Ryan Tannehill. Oh my God. And then what happens? Devontae Parker, 1 catch, 12 yards. That's his season. It's not real. So, all right. So to recap, I am looking at McCole Hardman as a breakout keeper. I am drafting Michael Gallup because I don't know what's going to happen there. And I am not touching Randall Cobb. Craig, what are you doing?
So I am keeping Debo, just keeping an eye on his personal injury possibility. I'm drafting Traquan just because of the volume there, and I am over Humphreys in Tennessee.
That's fantastic. Now, we're on the tight ends.
You might as well just call this the Walking Dead list.
My problem with tight end is, as you've heard, I've kept detailed notes on everybody else. My tight end list literally just has a box around the names. So we're going to fly through this. I mean, look at this. This is my quarterback notes.
Yeah,
I actually took
has
notes.
All handwritten notes.
I actually researched my ideas today. So
that's a plus.
Right, tight ends.
All right.
Now, it's not unusual that tight ends get drafted after the 150 mark. We've talked about it before in the draft strategy.
Giant cliff.
You know what? Let's talk about that cliff for a second.
Like that yodeling guy in that
So
game
let
show.
me go down the list. Ready? You tell me when I hit a cliff.
Yep.
Travis Kelce averaged 16.8. This is their ADP.
Right.
Zach Ertz, 31.6, 15 picks later.
Okay.
Little cliff. George Kittle, 33. So you got 3 tight ends
They're
in the top
spaced out
33
evenly.
picks.
Yeah.
Number 4 is O.J. Howard, 23.7 picks later at 56.7. So you go 33 to 56.7. This is worse than cliff diving with Tom Brady dangerous. Okay? That is a huge jump. And then there's like little jumps here between 10 and 11. And Njoku's at 10 at 94. Hooper 114.
Wow.
There are cliffs later. I mean, they're a little bit more tighter packed. So it's not shocking that we have a long list of people after the 150. But this is a great place to find value.
This is true.
So here's a list. Starting at pick 150 is Jordan Reed, Greg Olsen, Kyle Rudolph, Mark Andrews, Jimmy Graham, Dallas Goedert. I butcher his name every time. And Trey Burton.
Okay.
And they're all literally between picks 150 and 158 in average ADP right now. Yep. So they're tight-knit. So a lot of people are sitting there going, screw it. I'm waiting till the 15th round to get a tight end or to get my second tight end. Craig. Oh, wait. No, it's my turn to go first.
Yeah,
okay.
go ahead.
So who am I keeping? Dallas Goedert. Listen, Zach Ertz has not been durable.
I don't think anyone in Philadelphia has been.
Fantastic. The fact that he's even on this list as the second tight end tells me I should consider him. He is, if anything happens to Zach Ertz, he is going to be phenomenal, and he is instantly, at worst, a number 2 tight end. At worst. So that means top 20, folks. He goes from I only have 21 listed. So he goes from number 19 to number 15, but that's still pretty good.
That's still good.
Even a shot at the top 10, maybe. My draft guy is Kyle Rudolph. Listen, Kyle Rudolph needs to stay healthy. And Kirk Cousins can throw the goddamn ball. If Minnesota does not win 10 games this year, everyone in that organization from top to bottom, and I mean guys selling beer at the bottom, need to be fired. Because there is just too much talent for them not to be competitive.
You would think.
They've got a quarterback. They've got a running back who's good if he's healthy. Oh, and by the way, there's a guy behind him who ain't half bad, who actually made my list. Wait for it.
Wait, he's flipping through the pages.
I am.
He's,
Where is he? Where is he? Where is he?
Still
Where is he?
flipping.
Oh,
Still
Alexander
flipping.
Madison.
There you go.
Alexander Madison, who isn't half bad, getting a lot of good buzz. So even if Dalvin Cook does go down, there's options. Adam Thielen, Stephon Diggs. If Kyle Rudolph is healthy, he should be really good this year, and you can get him after the 10th round. My dump, Greg Olsen. It's time for Greg Olsen to retire.
You know how old Greg Olsen is?
35?
He's 27.
Oh my God! He's younger than Randall Cobb?
Yes.
There's no way. You're bullshitting me, right?
No. I'll tell you his birthday. Give me one second.
That is insane to me. There is no way. I put him under 30. No universe where Greg Olsen is younger than 30 years old. He's played forever. He's had an injury history. There's no way.
No, I was wrong. I was looking at the wrong guy.
All right, what is
He's
it?
34.
Okay, 34. All right. But he plays like a 34-year-old. And God bless him for playing this long. A lot of guys can't do it. I just can't. I can't trust him. So I am going to hope for Dallas Goedert. I'm going to draft Kyle Rudolph, and I'm going to dump Greg Olsen. Craig, what have you got for me?
So I'm going to go... Wait, that's the wrong list. Damn it. All right. I've been a fan of this guy for a really long time. So I'm going to keep Jimmy Graham. He is
Same kind of boat.
He is back on a
Is
team.
he 28? Is that where you got that number?
I am going to look that up now.
He's old too. But you like the fact that Jimmy Graham is
32.
now in Green Bay.
He's in Green Bay. He's on a team that is going to utilize a tight end as a passing.
When have they ever done that?
He
Bubba
will.
Franks.
No, he will. I think he will, especially now. Listen,
All right, I'm going to bet you
All right.
a 6-pack or 4-pack, because it comes in 4-packs, of Holiday Ale right now.
All right. Holiday comes in 4-pack?
Yeah,
it
Holiday Ale
does.
comes in 4-packs. That let's see, how do we phrase this?
How do you want to word this?
I'm going to bet that Jimmy Graham is under 750 yards of total offense this year.
This year.
This year with the Green Bay Packers, and this bet is null and void if he misses more than 3 games. That's out of fairness to you. So if he has a terrible injury, God forbid, you're not on the line for it. But if he plays
right.
at least 13 games this year,
Okay.
you're on the line, and I'm
He's
saying
played-
750 or fewer yards.
The least amount of games he ever played was 11 in Seattle in 2015.
And I'll give you 13. I'll give you 13 leeways, but
All
under
right.
750.
All right.
Bet accepted?
Bet accepted.
Accepted. On the record.
Write that down.
Yep.
'cause
Well, we
forget.
have it on tape, so it's
All
fine.
right.
All right, so you like Jimmy Graham. Okay, I'm sorry. He was your draft, right?
Yes.
Because who was your keeper?
See, I got this backwards again. I wrote myself.
Yeah, I like keeper
All
first.
right, so
keeper first.
Graham's a keeper.
Even at his age,
Yeah, because I think he has a couple more years left in him.
so if he has a really good this year, and you draft him in like the 14th round, and it's going to cost you a 12 to 14 round pick, you'll keep him.
Right.
Okay. Who's your drafter?
My drafter, you're gonna laugh at this one. It is Olsen.
You're going
I'm
old.
I'm
man.
going home this time because again, the Panthers don't know about the arm strength in the quarterback.
Oh my God! Can we just have
What?
enough of Cam Newton's arm strength? He's been fine. He's not
Had-
Mariota,
No, but he did have shoulder surgery.
and he's been fine in practice.
That's practice. But I just need to see him play a game, not a preseason game.
Oh, I think, yeah.
All right, and okay, so I'm dropping Jordan
Yeah.
Reed
because he's on Washington.
because he's on Washington. And let me give you some stats about Jordan Reed.
We don't need to hear stats about Jordan Reed. We already know how bad he is. Well, he looks them up anyway. Go ahead.
Hold on, I got it right here somewhere because my stupid browser closed. Here it is. You ready for his career stats? Are you prepared for this?
I don't think I could ever be prepared, but go ahead.
Since 2013,
Yeah,
he has not completed a full season.
that's not surprising. I knew this.
9 games, 11 games, 14 games, 12
14,
games,
wow.
6 games, 13 games.
I'm surprised he got to 13 and 14 games on 2 occasions.
So Jordan Reed, not,
And the offense isn't good.
and it's in Washington.
The offense isn't good. Now they're talking Case Keenum might be the opening day starter.
Can he walk?
He can stand there and throw the ball. I mean, Dwayne Haskins has great potential. He's going to need a year. I think Dwayne Haskins needs to go the Patrick Mahomes route and play behind somebody for a good year and then see how things are done. The problem is he doesn't have a coaching staff led by
True.
Andy Reid, and he doesn't have a game-managing quarterback like Alex Smith. So I don't think standing with Jay Gruden and behind Colt McCoy / Case Keenum
Yeah.
is going to really provide the results that they're looking for. I think that those things matter, and it's going to be tough.
Agreed.
All right, so that's our deep dive for today. Craig, final thoughts. We're out of time.
Final thoughts. Wow, it's draft time. It's officially football season.
We are
They're
in
preseason.
full-blown draft
Just
season.
amazed that the summer just flew by. Britt is drinking pumpkin beer.
Oh, I love it.
The time is here. The time is now.
It's go time, folks. If you're not, and I said this every week, if you're not prepping for your draft, you are behind. It's I think it's the last weekend in August is considered National Draft Weekend, which in my opinion should be a holiday.
Should be.
Honestly.
Should be.
So yeah, listen to what's going on. Keep in mind that we recorded the Blitz a couple weeks ago, so there may be some people that have changed. Next week, Craig and I will do an update on our Blitz rankings. Folks who have moved. Gordon is going to move down. Unless Zeke signs, he's going to move down. Injuries have happened. Keep on top of the news. Remember this simple statement. Your fantasy team belongs to you. We are here to give you our insight. Craig and I have, I'm up to almost 30 years of experience doing this. We've got 50 years of experience. That doesn't mean we're absolutely right. We have different opinions than a lot of folks, and we have not. If we were absolutely right, we'd win every freaking league we were ever in.
Right.
So with that, the last thing I want to do is I want to do a quick shout out to John Hansen, the fantasy guru, because he liked one of our tweets.
Nice.
That was very, very nice. And a reminder to check us out on Twitter. We're at FignutsDFS. Send us a direct message if there's something you'd like to ask us. You want to talk to us in person? FignutsDFS@gmail.com. Also, check us out, the Football Fignuts, on Facebook. We'll be back next week. The busiest time of our year is July and August. It just is. After that, we are just going to start plotting out with weekly DFS once the season starts. And then once the season ends, Britt takes a nap. Until then, my name is Britt.
I'm Craig.
And we are the Football Fignuts Podcast. Thank you all for listening. Don't forget to leave us a review.